16.7 for France, gap 0.472 of a second. So the pressure constant to Germany.
Yeah, and you'd have to say that Duval would be favoured there, John. He's done a lot of A1GP races.
Spin for Indonesia.
Well, just after he'd managed to get past the Czech Republic as well, and now he's lost it. But yeah,
well, in fact, there's 3 cars involved: Czech Republic and Malaysia and Indonesia.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't quite know what went on there, but he's well off in the scoria, that's called it, rather than gravel. It is actually a volcanic material that they use as the gravel trap here in New Zealand, and it's slowed him down pretty effectively. And
Australia's gone off in the same corner.
I didn't even know he was back out, to be honest, because he was in the pits for a long time.
One wonders, is there something down there in the circuit that we're not aware of, because 4 cars now in one corner, and again Marshall's running wave flags before you get down to turn 7, so you're required, again, one of those cars, I can't think it was France, actually, again, watch it, look at this. There is something on the racetrack down there, because Germany and France going through the corner got into big time trouble. And now cars, I think that might well be Canada coming back onto the track as well.
I think the Australian car's blown its engine, and he's deposited a load of oil down there.
Something down there, I think you're right, it is either water and or oil, because people that have followed through have been absolutely caught unawares.
My goodness, the leaders did well to get through there, because I'm just looking how slow New Zealand went through there. Safety car is on track. Oh, it's all happening here, isn't it?
We've only got a waved yellow flag. We need to see a banded yellow and red flag indicating something on the track.
And I tell you what, Canada has, I think, got ahead of the Netherlands in all this. I'm just looking now. Well, I don't know where the Netherlands is. I think they may have got caught out on that oil. Canada's third now, John. Canada's there in third place.
Oh, catch your breath. I mean,
there's Portugal now in fourth, and Netherlands, he must have got caught up on the oil. He's dropped down.
He was one of the cars that did get caught up. Here, let's look and see. Satru Amanta, that's the car that seemingly started the whole issue. Spins in the middle of the track now. Does somebody clip it and damage a radiator? He's off. He's all right. Malaysia's gone through. He comes. No, he doesn't come back onto the racetrack quite yet. He's all on his own. But somewhere down there we saw incident. There's the consequence. That was a little bit later. There's the oil. That was the spin that we saw from the Netherlands. And the car then just blinded by the dust.
My goodness. Just get a bit offline and you would know where. And there's certainly something down, as you said, on that track. And opportunities here for others to take advantage. And that's what Canada has certainly done. But Australia, I'm afraid it's all over. Oh, he's been told to get back in the car, I think.
Well, he's getting back in the car, but who put the fluid down?
Yeah, that's the question. I'm not sure it was him, actually, because they were already spinning.
They were spinning here
before he got there.
We saw 3 cars. There was Indonesia, Malaysia and another car, and then the Australia car came round, and then it all went absolutely ballistic.
So where did the fluid or whatever it is come from? That is still the big question.
Germany and France were almost equally caught out in that particular moment down in turn 7.
Let's get some news from the pit lane. Simon has news on Australia. Simon.
I just had a chat with the guys on the Australia pit with Rob Arnott and the rest of the guys. Apparently it was an oil, and it certainly didn't come from the Australian car. Basically, John Martin radioed and said he came through the corner immediately after those guys had spun, and he said it was just like being on the beach. There was just sand and muck everywhere, so that's what called him out.
Right, okay, well that makes sense. I suppose if there was that much dust around, we know how slippery the track got yesterday when the dust was being blown around by the wind. Maybe it was that simple.
Well, I mean, certainly if that was what it was, we couldn't see that the track looked that dirty. But the dust is so fine, it's like it is volcanic ash, in effect it's pumice stone, and it's like powder. It is so fine. But if it's on the track as a fine layer on the track, and you the first, second car down, well, you've lost contact with the racetrack. You're just simply driving on that very fine powder.
So, what's happening? We've got the safety car out. There's Australia rejoining with that bit of bodywork still dangling away on the left-hand side. That was still a result of the earlier incident with India. Czech Republic's coming in again. I wonder if they're going to be able to send him on his way. He's been really struggling. The car doesn't look as though it's handling particularly well. Puncture by the look of it, because they're just changing the one wheel, so he's picked up a left rear puncture and he's going to go back on his way again. He's pretty much towards the back of the field, but he ain't going to give up. So it's Germany that currently leads this race behind the safety car. France, of course, were harrying them all the way until the safety car came out. There was no gap between them really, and there's little between them now. Then it's Canada third. We've got the Swiss car up there on the road, but that's because he's been lapped, so don't worry about the Swiss car in terms of position. We're looking at top speeds on your graph at the moment, so that's not the race positions, that's top speeds, and actually Ireland have the highest top speed in this race so far, as Indonesia's car gets pushed away. What happened when Australia got push started here? Was there A little bit of a problem.
I suspect there's a load of gravel somewhere in the bottom of the car. And there they go. There you can see the stuff being. Look at it. He's just put down as much of the stuff that he actually found when he came down to that corner in the first place. So fortunately, everybody running behind the safety car. We're waiting to see when the safety car light is going to be. It's going to be put out. We've got a clear track down at turn 7.
Now, I don't know quite why
lights are still on the safety car.
Switzerland has moved to the head of the queue, which I don't quite understand. I know he's been lapped and all that, but I don't quite understand why he's gone to the head of the queue. Normally he would sort of hold.
Now, has he been waved through?
He may have been, yeah. He's been waved now, yeah. He's been waved past the safety car. That's interesting.